Mr McMillan, please.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, I'm both Scottish and European, and also a nationalist and an internationalist, and I fully support the motion in the name of the Minister. And I would urge the Chamber to speak with one voice tonight at 5 p.m. when we have the vote, to actually tell all of our EU friends who have chosen to live here that they are welcome. EU citizens are clearly concerned about their status. They're clearly worried about what's going to happen to them in a post-Brexit scenario. And I want them to stay. I want them to continue to contribute to our country, our economy, our culture, and also socially. Now, I previously sent a letter to all the EU nationals in my Greenock and Inverclyde constituency, providing them with information available at the time, but also reaffirming the fact that they are welcome here. Now, some of the responses I received were full of gratitude, but they also wanted to say thank you for that reaffirmation. They also wanted to thank the First Minister for her continued support and her continued comments indicating that all EU nationals are welcome in Scotland. Now, Presiding Officer, it's important that no matter what politicians talk about and no matter what figures we actually bandy about when we have debates in this chamber and also in committees and also outside of the Parliament, we have to remember that these EU citizens are individual people. The plight that they have at the moment is something that the UK government can fix readily if they want to. But also, it's not just about the adults, it's about the children as well. These individuals, they go about their business, they contribute to their working environment, they contribute to making Scotland better. Now, I thank them for choosing Scotland as the country that they actually want to live in, and I thank them for actually calling Scotland their home. Now, I don't believe that any member of this Parliament would be pleased if the state told them that circumstances were going to change. I don't believe that any member of this chamber would be pleased if they believed that their home might no longer be theirs if they were not allowed to live here anymore. I think that this is where the SCVO comments in the briefings provided to us were actually was very helpful, and which Alec Rowley touched upon earlier. And I think one of the quotes was that from the SCVO was that we will now be required to apply for permission to stay in their own homes and communities. Presiding Officer, the UK government record in dealing with immigrants has not always been one to be proud of. The Windrush scandal proves this to be the case. If Windrush tells us anything, it tells us, and also now EU citizens living here, that the UK government cannot be trusted on immigration. We all heard the stories of individuals going to visit family and friends in the Caribbean, some of them to only be refused entry when they come back to the UK. We also know that some people died when they left, when they went to go and visit. Their homes were in the UK. Their lives were in the UK. Saying also, I don't blame EU citizens for being scared and apprehensive. I would be if I was in their situation. The UK government EU settle scheme and settled status scheme is frustrating enough, but for those EU nationals who have lived here for less than the 5 years, they're only able to apply for the pre-settled status. This provides even less security for the applicant or their children, a guaranteed right to remain. This is just shocking. Now, Daniel Hannan, the Tory MEP, and I thought his quote actually was very useful in this regard, and he's quoted as saying, I have had constituency cases of EU nationals being denied settled status despite living here for years. This is a breach of the assurances I and other Leavers gave during the referendum. Now, Presiding Officer, Scotland is in this mess because of the demonising of migrants and the surge to the right in UK politics. UKIP, the BNP and the EDL and others have actually, unfortunately, helped sway some people by claiming that migrants are not welcome. The Conservatives' actions are also well documented, as we know, with Windrush and also the Go Home van, and we also had Labour's infamous controls and immigration mug. This despite parties in this Parliament agreeing that immigration into Scotland is both positive but also essential. I'm going to just a bit of a paragraph from the Equal Opportunities Committee report, which was the Migration and Trafficking report in 2010. Now, some of the members of that committee are still in Parliament today. And it was paragraph 689, and it states, the committee believes that in this report it has been able to dispel many of the myths that have grown around migration. It found in evidence, for example, that migrants' demands on public services, including the health service, are not as high as the general populations, that migrants are housed largely in private rented accommodation rather than social housing, and that migrants do not depress local wages. And also more generally, there is also evidence available which states that migrants pay more in taxes than they receive in benefits and public services. Presiding Officer, as the BMA Scotland briefing for today also told us, the NHS has always relied on international doctors to provide a safe, high quality and reliable level of service for patients and to fill gaps in the medical workforce. Presiding Officer, we have an ageing population and the number of pensioners are projected to increase further by 25% over the next 25 years, with a population growth over the next 25 years projected to be amongst the lowest across comparative European and UK countries. Then the half-baked and ill-conceived measures by the UK government will not help in any way. They will make it harder for Scotland and also for our constituents. EU citizens, my message to you, and I echo the comments from the First Minister, but my message to every single EU citizen is you are welcome in Scotland. You are needed in Scotland. And thank you for choosing Scotland as your home. And also, please stay.